G'day guys, MP Numbers here, and today I'm bringing you a deck tech, something I don't do very often, but I thought we'd give it a crack with Singleton coming back to Arena. Personally, I've had a lot of fun with it. It's actually the only time I'm actually building decks. You see, I did a black-red hand destruction deck on stream quite a while ago when it was first on Arena. You can see that there'll be a thing up the top that takes you to know if you haven't seen it yet. But today I'm doing a mono-red burn Singleton deck. Now, if you know me, if you know how I play, fast and red and burny is the way that I want to play. And this was originally a deck I was putting together. I was going to do a Brawl series with a buddy, never quite panned out. So it's based off that. It was going to be a Jaya Ballard burn deck with the on theme of Jaya Ballard not being a planeswalker or a character who would summon creatures, but she would just bring spells and burn face. So obviously, not being not being Brawl, it doesn't have the specific requirements where you have to follow those rules. But I decided for simplicity's sakes, we've made it mono red. We've put Jaya Ballard with a couple of Chandras in there, different Chandras, and a whole bunch of burn spells. So we've got Jaya Ballard, we've got the OP Chandra, we've got the Bold Pyromancer, which is one of the Planeswalker decks, I believe, and Pyrogenius, which was the Kaladesh Planeswalker deck. So basically, neither of these two are great. They cost 6 mana, but they do have an ability that deals damage to our opponent. And because we don't have creatures, we just have to kill our opponent. So we don't want to do damage. They've also got some other abilities which may come up if opponents can't attack them. Obviously, burn spells can also kill their creatures to keep our planeswalkers alive. Most of the games I've won so far with this are winning with the planeswalkers. So you have 2 or 3 of them out, and you just keep ticking them up, kill off their creatures, chuck a couple of burn spells at their face, and kill them that way. In the actual spells, so we've got a bunch of spells which will only target creatures. Now, optimally, I wouldn't want these in the deck, but there's literally just not enough in Arena Constructor. I believe it's just the standard card pool of cards that do damage to any target. Depending on how, if you wanted to try building this deck yourself, you might want to take them out with some more card draw, or you may want to splash a second color and look at putting other cards in. But I've gone strictly mono red. Most of these cards, they come in handy anyway, like a Braid will destroy an artifact that comes up. Some of them you can just cast for the sake of casting them, like if you need ways to cast spells, which we'll get to in a second. And the rest, we have a few ways to discard, to get rid of these cards if we are playing a creatureless deck, because they do come up. They're not super common, I've found, in my 10 or so games, but they do exist out there, I know for sure. Currently running 23 lands, obviously the 21 mountains, a desert, and a Remnant, which is not legal in Standard, but is legal in Singleton, FYI. But outside of these spells that only do damage to creatures, we've also got some. This should be over here. We've got some card draw and discard. So we've got the Flame of Keld. Because our deck curve is pretty low, we can empty our hand, we can drop this, discard irrelevant mountains or irrelevant magma spreads that we don't need if they're not playing creatures. Then we get to draw 2 cards, and then if we line it up well on the 3rd turn, we can trigger that and trigger the 3rd ability to double the damage, plus 2 damage, and it really helps the burn. Of course, we do have an insult to injury in the deck, which if you can line that up, it's awesome. So we've got a bunch of spells, as I said, that just deal damage. Generally, you'll be wanting to point them at your opponent's face. That's the spell that goes in this pile. Sorry. Generally, you'll be wanting to point them at your opponent's face unless they've got a creature that's going to kill you. Something you don't get a choice. We've got a couple of sweepers. I should mention Chanted Outburst, another Planeswalker deck card which searches up the Bold Pyromancer. So it's a burn spell for 4 damage, and you get to find one of your Planeswalkers. Hour of Devastation is just a big sweeper. And Sarkhan's Dragonfire lets you find an extra card, replaces itself. We do have Hazoret's Undying Fury. It's kind of the thing you want to cast when you're at the end. Like if you just need that one last card, you can play this, and hopefully hit a couple of lightning strikes or shocks or whatever, and get there. But I don't have shock in this deck. Okay, quick change there. I didn't have shock in the deck for some reason, so I just swapped out for shock. We've got a couple of other things that aren't directly burn spells but are effective. Double cast, Glorious End. I'll probably cut Glorious End, but I don't know what for. Insult to Injury, of course. Blasting Cannons, just a way to get some extra card value. Sunbird's Invocation. This one I may also cut, but it might get you one spell into another spell. A little bit of handy use there. But Hazoret's Undying Fury, and that's the deck. So let me know what you think. We're going to run some games as well, so follow on the playlist. We'll at least 3 games because you get 3 chances in Singleton Arena, and we'll see what happens with it, and hopefully have some fun. Love to hear your thoughts on improving it. I'd personally prefer to keep it mono red, but if you want to take it and maybe add some blue, red, white, or green, blue, black, white, or green, I don't know what you do with it. Obviously, you don't understand what I'm trying to do here. Love to hear what you think. Let's see what happens in the games.